Look the part, play the part. Yakko sponsors Vanarama National League on BT Sport.
Hello everyone and welcome to BT Sport's Vanarama National League highlight show. Over the next half an hour we'll bring you all the incidents from the latest round of fixtures. Here's a little flavour of what's coming up. 3 in 3 for Tranmere Rovers as Brabin's boys win a game. Lincoln sunk at Sincil Bank by a sumptuous Sutton. And late drama at Forest Green seals their first win of the season. Both Tranmere Rovers and Eastleigh narrowly missed out on playoff football last season. And with the two sides near the top of the table, Gary Brabin and Chris Todd seem to have their eyes on the prize of promotion. A mouth-watering clash on Merseyside. And it was the hosts who drew first blood after 24 minutes. Tranmere bought Wrexham's captain and top scorer Connor Jennings. He registered his first goal since his summer switch to Prenton Park. But Todd's team responded on the front foot and an Eastleigh equaliser arrived on the half hour. Adam Dugdale, a former Tranmere player, on hand on his Eastleigh debut to level the scores at half-time. The clock ticked to 75 minutes and a big moment in the match. Eastleigh's Luke Colson was adjudged to have brought down Lois Maynard. The referee had no hesitation. Penalty to Tranmere. Top scorer James Norwood took on the responsibility. His spot kick came down off the bar and not over the line. But Norwood was not to be denied. 94 minutes played as Tranmere's main man bore down on goal to slot home the winner. 4 goals in the first week of the season for Norwood. 3 victories out of 3 for Tranmere Rovers.
You know, I thought we kept on going. We've had opportunities and chances to have scored throughout the game. You know, we always felt like we were going to get that winning goal, and like I said, it was cruel for the opposition, but it was really deserved 3 points, I think, for ourselves.
The first ever meeting of Lincoln City and Sutton United saw the hosts looking to maintain their 100% record, while the visitors were still searching for their first win back in the 5th tier. Lincoln were favourites, but the complexion changed when top scorer Matt Reid was forced out of the game inside 20 minutes. Manager Danny Cowley will be hoping a hamstring injury doesn't keep Reid sidelined for too long. And Sutton struck another blow to Lincoln just minutes later. A stunning free kick from midfielder Dan Wishart. Last season's National League South winners off to a flyer at Sincil Bank. A bad opening half hour for Cowley's men became a terrible half hour as the visitors broke away. Lincoln's Bradley Wood was alleged to have stamped on Rory Deacon off the ball and off camera. Referee Simon Barrow was alerted to the incident by his assistant and showed Wood the red card. The 4th time Wood has been dismissed at this level. This remarkable contest took another twist 6 minutes after half-time as the 10 men rallied and found the equaliser. Was it a cross or was it a shot from left-back Sam Habergam? The Lincoln City supporters didn't care how it went in. The first goal in over 200 career appearances for Habergam. Delight almost turned to delirium. Sutton keeper Ross Warner failed to deal with the cross. Johnny Margetts fired against the upright. But Paul Doswell's team began to make the extra man count as the game wore on. Dean Beckwith's header brilliantly kept out by Paul Farman. Sutton established their superiority with 7 minutes to play. Jamie Collins forcing the ball past Farman to leave the travelling fans dreaming of a famous away win. And the points were wrapped up in stoppage time. Ryan Burge's deflected shot looped into the path of Deacon to put the game to bed. After 16 years, Sutton United's wait for a win in the National League is over.
At times I thought we were okay. I felt we could have done better at the start of the second half. I felt we didn't really take the man advantage as well as we could have done. I thought the last 25 minutes were outstanding. We created chances by being braver on the ball. We've got to recognise that a bit quicker. But listen, you know, this is a team that drove their cars to Forest Green during the week, trained hard Thursday, in fact to travel to Lincoln today 5 hours, and they put a magnificent shift in for the club.
Well, I can't control the refs, so there's no real point in talking about him. I know that the crowd were very frustrated. I thought our players were frustrated with him first half, and I thought we lost our discipline as a consequence, and we've probably got to manage our emotions a little bit better. I thought we did better at that in the second half, but yeah, no, he certainly had an influence on the game.
Forest Green were on fire at the start of last season, a record-breaking 9 wins from their first 9. But they welcomed Gateshead to the new lawn, still looking for their first 3 points of the campaign. Frustration for new manager Mark Cooper. One of his summer signings, French youngster Mohamed Shemlal, showed a glimpse of his potential in the early stages. Gateshead were full of confidence after 2 3-0 victories so far this campaign. Paddy McLaughlin spurned a golden chance to put the visitors ahead at half-time. Both sides knew a victory would signal a real statement of intent. Forest Green continued to threaten through Shemlal, who clipped the top of Sam Johnson's crossbar. The game was on a knife edge, with either side looking like a potential winner. The header from Gateshead sub Anthony Sweeney saw the visitors strike the frame of the goal. And on a day of late drama in the National League, there was a sting in the tail for Gateshead. On 91 minutes, the ball was worked out wide to right-back Dale Bennett, who was surely attempting a cross. But it curled over Johnson and into the net. Bennett's first goal in well over a year, Cooper's first win as Forest Green manager.
When you play like we do, teams get everybody behind the ball and make it difficult. So it's not easy with 10 players behind the ball to create an opportunity. And the frustrating part today for me was that we didn't have enough incisiveness in our play in the final third. But that'll come because we've got good players. And we managed to lock the back door and keep a clean sheet.
It's always disappointing when you concede in injury time, but when it's to a fluke as well, it makes it even worse. And then obviously the fact that we had the better chances in the game, it makes it really tough to take.
Part-time Braintree Town achieved a truly miraculous third-place finish last season after manager Danny Cowley's departure in the summer. Former Forest Green assistant Jamie Day is the man with a hard act to follow. 2 draws out of 2 so far, but they were behind against Macclesfield after just 10 minutes at Cressing Road. Danny Rowe cutting inside and finding the corner. John Askey's men were out of the playoff hunt in the last campaign. They'll be looking to impose themselves on the chase for a top 5 finish, and they were very much in control of this match. A deft finish from Chris Holroyd to put Macclesfield 2-0 up at the interval. The visitors came into this game having lost just 2 of their last 13 matches. Confidence clearly high as Jack Sampson produced a moment of real quality to give Macclesfield a 3-goal lead. Braintree battled back in search of a consolation. Jack Midson's header was kept out by Craig Ross, but Mitch Hancock's was adjudged to have handled, penalty to the hosts. Lee Barnard stepped up and scored for the second time in a week to reduce the deficit to 2. Hancock's was booked for that handball, and that proved costly on 89 minutes. A cynical challenge saw the former Birmingham defender receive a second yellow card and his marching orders. There was still time for referee Anthony Serrano to make it 10-a-side. Braintree keeper Jamie Butler was caught holding a slightly high line. After bringing down Kingsley James, it was bye-bye Butler. A comical end to a good day for Macclesfield.
We played well, we played some really good football. Perhaps should have scored more goals. But on the other side, we got a little bit sloppy at times and we could have conceded more. But it's 3 points, it's early days, and it gives everybody confidence.
First half wasn't good enough and wasn't nowhere near what I expect, from a group of players that I put on the pitch. So they know that. I think now it's obviously about bouncing back for Tuesday and getting a reaction.
The latest stop in Maidstone United's maiden season in the National League was the Diva Stadium. Their first ever trip to face Chester began very brightly. Summer signing Anthony Achimpong rising highest to put Jay Saunders' side in front after 20 minutes. But the hosts responded just 10 minutes later. A solo effort from striker James Allaby, his second of the season, much to his delight. You think? But the Stones are made of stern stuff and they were back in front before the hour mark. Ben Greenhalgh is now in his third spell with Maidstone. His finish wasn't pretty, but it found a way past Chester goalkeeper Liam Roberts. And 7 minutes later, 2-1 became 3-1. Fan favourite Alex Fleischer rifling into the corner as a first ever win at this level beckoned for Maidstone. Chester's hopes of a recovery were long gone when Allaby overran the ball. His challenge on goalkeeper Lee Worgan infuriated the Maidstone players. Referee David Richardson showing Allaby a straight red card. Worgan thankfully able to continue, Maidstone able to celebrate 3 precious points.
After 10 years away, Dagenham and Redbridge have been reminded of the challenges of life in the National League. Their first week back saw a 3-0 win, swiftly followed by a 3-0 defeat. It's been even more of a grind for Guiseley, and their struggles continued after just 6 minutes. Christian Assombalonga with his first goal for the Daggers, and in case you were wondering, he is the brother of Nottingham Forest Britt Assombalonga. John Still almost saw his team add to their advantage before the break. Route 1 through to Assombalonga again, but the former Waltham Abbey frontman couldn't find the target. Mark Bauer's men showed more endeavour after the interval. The manager brought striker Adam Boyes off the bench, Guiseley's number 9 flicking the ball just wide. But the Daggers doubled their lead with 15 minutes to play. Luke Guttridge's corner headed home by Oliver Hawkins, his second goal since joining in January. The game appeared to be up for Guiseley. Bauer and Boyes may have got the sense it wasn't to be their day, as Boyes wriggled his way into possession before squeezing his shot inches wide. It's 3 defeats out of 3 for Guiseley, while Dagenham and Redbridge are back on track.
We're quite happy to take the highs and lows. We'll treat them both the same. We won't get overexcited when it's very good, and we won't get over disappointed when it's very bad. But we're gradually making progress, and for me that's the key, to make progress and to improve the players that we have.
Dagenham were better from start to finish, fully deserved the 3 points. We were just flat and struggled to get going, and the early goal that we conceded just kind of set the tone for the game, and there was no way back for us after that. They just saw it out and were deserved winners.
Going into this one, both Aldershot and Wrexham were in high spirits, having snatched late winners in their respective midweek fixtures, with Aldershot winning 1-0 against Maidstone and Wrexham narrowly beating Guiseley 3-2. However, it was the home side who came flying out of the blocks. Republic of Ireland under-21 international Shamir Fenelon driving in at the near post to open the scoring after just 3 minutes, his first goal for the club. Scott Rendell made the controversial decision this summer to sign for Gary Waddock's side from arch-rivals Woking. The big number 9 came close in the early stages, looping his header just over the bar. But the man who's been so prolific at this level down the years finally got his goal with half an hour remaining, doubling the lead after some nice interplay between Nick Arnold and Bernard Mensah down the left. A comfortable win for the hosts, who bid to return to the Football League at the 4th time of asking.
Boreham Wood arrived at York City's Booth and Crescent boasting a 100% win record from their opening 2 games, first beating Forest Green and then Dover Athletic. As for York, they'd made a steady start to their first season in the 5th tier since 2012, claiming 4 points from their opening 2 matches. And in a first half of little incident, Jan Klukowski came closest to opening the scoring for Jackie McNamara's men, his shot trickling just wide. If York are to bounce back at the first time of asking, they'll need to tighten up a leaky defence, which saw them concede 87 goals last season. However, there wasn't much evidence of that here. A mix-up between Jack Higgins and Scott Flinders led to an opening for Morgan Ferrier. However, the former Crystal Palace man was adjudged to have gone down a little too easily. In a game of few chances, the home side looked as though they'd won it. Simon Heslop driving through a crowded area to give the Minster men the lead with only minutes remaining. Boreham Wood, though, it seems, have a new resilience about them this season, as that man Ricky Shakes, fresh from scoring the winner against Forest Green last week, drew the visitors level, rifling in from the edge of the box, much to the joy of those who'd made the long journey up from Hertfordshire. A fair result in the end, as both sides maintained their unbeaten records.
I felt it was very much an even affair. I didn't feel that anyone deserved to win the game. I felt that both sides were sloppy in possession, and
in fairness, I thought it was going to be a bit of quality to win it, and Heslop's gone and got the finish at the death. But lucky enough for us that Shakes is going to match that with a sublime finish to equal the game.
I think we should have held on because, as I said, I don't really see anything that they were creating against us in the match. There's wee bits of possession there, but in terms of testing the goalkeepers, I thought that both keepers had a quiet afternoon.
Andy Bishop's Southport had started their National League season with back-to-back 3-0 defeats, something they'll definitely need to improve if they're to shake the tag of perennial strugglers in English football's 5th tier. They entertained a Woking side also looking for their first win of the campaign, and it was the visitors who made a better start on the day. Brian Sarr testing Southport keeper Tyrell Belford early on. However, there was little Belford could do after 14 minutes as Denon Lewis steered an angled shot to give the Surrey club the lead. A first career goal for the man on loan from Watford. Retaining last season's top scorer, Lewis Almond, was perhaps Southport's best piece of business this summer. After being felled in the box by Kieran Murtagh, Almond dusted himself off to dispatch the penalty and draw his side level. And with the game looking destined to finish all square, it was Almond who was the difference once again, latching on to player-manager Andy Bishop's knockdown before finishing into the far corner. As for Woking, they're without a win from their opening 3 games for the first time since 2008.
We were disappointing in the first game. We felt we played a lot better in the second game, and today put us under a lot of pressure to get something out of the game, not necessarily to win it. We wanted to win it, but I think it'll give the lads a lot of confidence. We played okay in patches. At times we were a little bit sloppy with the ball, but it's a much needed win, and the 3 points will go now at the moment.
North Ferriby have struggled so far on their maiden campaign in the National League. They travel to Dover looking to bounce back from their 6-1 midweek drubbing by Lincoln. Chris Kinnear's Dover also had a point to prove after losing heavily in midweek to Boreham Wood, and the hosts almost made a dream start as the tricky Ricky Modeste was denied by on-loan Hull keeper Rory Watson after just 11 minutes. Moses Emmanuel was one of the league's top marksmen last campaign as his 20 goals led Bromley to a mid-table finish, and on the half-hour mark he opened his account for the season, profiting from Ross Lafayette's unselfish cross. Dover were one of the league's overachievers last time around as the part-time side snuck into the playoffs. They doubled the lead here with 15 minutes remaining. Some neat footwork and a cultured finish from summer signing Lafayette, the former Eastleigh man cementing a comfortable victory on his first start for the team from Kent.
Barrow manager Paul Cox took his side to Plainmoor for their 3rd National League game of the season to face Torquay United, a team where Cox spent just 3 months in charge back in 2015, later stating the club were unable to pay him. But it was the home side who made the better start here. Dan Sparks' free kick well saved by Joel Dixon in the Barrow goal. Torquay boss Kevin Nicholson compared summer signing Brett Williams to former Manchester United striker Dimitar Berbatov during the week. Well, the mercurial Bulgarian definitely would have been proud of this finish, as Williams cut through the visiting defence before slotting home his first goal for Torquay. On 64 minutes, Barrow introduced Richie Bennett, and it didn't take long for the forward to make an impact, shooting here when maybe a pass was the better option. But the summer signing from Northwich Victoria soon made amends as his deflected effort looped over Brendan Moore in the Torquay goal, making the 800-mile round trip all the more worthwhile for the Barrow faithful.
Overall, I'm very happy. I don't think they need to be too disappointed, other than the fact we've missed out on the full 3 points. But it's a progression. We've got better and better in the 3 games we've played, and we now need to go to Sutton and get better again.
We gave a sloppier goal away in the first half. I was annoyed with the way we gave it away, but the players in the second half showed an amazing mindset to play as they did, and I thought we thoroughly deserved the point.
Solihull have adjusted well so far to their first season in the 5th tier, having taken 4 points from their opening 2 games. They welcomed a Bromley side in white, who are yet to register a point or a goal at this early stage of the season. The hosts surely would have been buoyed by their late comeback in midweek. They were 2 down before snatching a draw against Woking, and it took them just 4 minutes to open the scoring as Giant defender Liam Daly looped in a header at the far post. After not seeing much of the ball in the opening exchanges, Bromley's frustration was beginning to show. Toby Show Silva lucky only to receive a yellow for this reckless challenge. A lack of goals may be a problem for Bromley this campaign, as they registered a blank for the third game in succession, Connor Diamond getting this one horribly wrong to compound a miserable start for Neil Smith's men. As for Solihull, they remain unbeaten, and with 7 points from a possible 9, manager Marcus Bignott can have no complaints.
To be honest, it was a real good clean sheet performance. We didn't really particularly play well on the ball, as I would have liked, compared to Tuesday night against Woking, but nevertheless, a super clean sheet, our first one of the season, and to get a return of 7 points from 9, I've got to be happy.
We just keep working hard. The boys have worked hard since the first day of pre-season, and we'll just keep on going. There's no going to be no panic or anything like that. We just keep working hard and just work our way back into a bit of luck.
A quick look now at how things stand at the top of the table, and setting the bar high is Tranmere Rovers. Their 100% win record continues after 3 games as Gary Brabin looks to return the club back to the Football League. What a start Luke Garrettsborough would have made. They sit second after 2 wins and a draw. Dagenham and Redbridge got back to winning ways, and Sutton United climb into the top half after their first win in 16 years at this level. Down at the other end, a worrying start for Bromley after 3 games, 3 straight defeats and not a single goal scored. Things must change soon for Neil Smith's side. Guiseley join them with 3 straight defeats, and North Ferriby United and Woking make up the rest of the bottom 4. Playoff semi-finalists last year, Braintree, still wait for their first win, but Forest Green claimed their first under new manager Mark Cooper. They sit 13th. Now, a date for your diary. Our next live fixture is at Victoria Road as John Stills Dagenham and Redbridge welcome Gary Mills Wrexham on Saturday the 27th of August, and it's all exclusively live from 11:45 on BT Sport 1. That's all we've got time for this week, I'm afraid. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again very soon.
Look the part, play the part. Yakko sponsors Vanarama National League on BT Sport.